Shanti Shanti.
Something wrong and you are having the result of causality. And what is the purpose? It is not to make you indulge in the previous life, but to tell you that now you do good so that the next life will be all right. So whether the next life exists or not, it makes you do good, to put you back, to bring you back on the auspicious path. It is done. So everything, although it appears to be imaginary, mythology and all, actually they are based on very subtle reason to make you do which will take you to auspiciousness by undergoing some subtle psychological laws, because people are not generally respecting the subtle laws. See, most of the cases, in most of the cases we pat them, we fondle them because we like to do it. It is not for the welfare of the child. Is it not so? We should love them, we should look after them. But overindulgence in patting, loving and giving them indulgence, it is done because we like to do. When they are very young, we like to do all these things without thinking of the consequences. Later on, when that becomes a problem for us, then we start blaming the child, forgetting that I am responsible for that. I will give you a simple example from my own Purvashrama family, my mother, who is no more there. My eldest brother's son was very young, small, and they were staying here in Jamshedpur. My mother was specialist in making some sweets, and all the Jamshedpurians will know, because Vijayadashami people used to come particularly to take those sweets and all. So she was making very good paneer jalebi. आप जानते हैं ना जो पनीर से बनाया हुआ जलेबी बनता है. She used to make it very good, and the grandson used to like it very much. So I was studying in college or doing research, I don't remember now. When we were coming, I would find that every day that boy used to be given that paneer jalebi, and my mother would very proudly say that this boy cannot take food without this paneer jalebi. That is, it is prepared by me, paneer jalebi, and this boy cannot take without this. That was the pride of the grandmother. And she used to relish it. Once I felt a little bad. I don't remember now. By that time, perhaps we had renounced, or no, we had not renounced. He was quite young. But once it appealed to me, and I thought of telling my mother. I said that the way you are spoiling him, now you are feeling very happy about it that your grandson cannot take food without this sweet prepared by you. But later on he will have problem because of that, because he will get attached to that repeatedly, every day taking it. He will not be able to take without that, missing it. And exactly the same thing happened. After quite a few years had passed, and the son had grown, and the grandson had grown. He was in class 9 or 10 or so. He was staying here and studying in church school or so. So my mother, one day, I had come for visit, my mother said that, see, I have become old, I cannot do all these things now, but this boy refuses to take food without paneer jalebi. Ma, do you remember I had told you this? She doesn't remember. This is the subtle law. I pointed out that you are now spoiling his mind, making him attached to paneer jalebi by giving a particular sweet he likes every day out of all difficulty, because young you are now have the power and you can do it. But when she became old, she is not able to do that. And the boy has also grown, but he has got attached to paneer jalebi. And who is responsible for making him attached to paneer jalebi? The mother, the grandmother is responsible. Boy is not responsible. Then why are you blaming the boy now? This is a subtle psychological law. When it is pointed out also, people will not honor it, because they don't have the subtle thinking. They don't have the subtle discrimination. So they have to be threatened by something which they will be fearful of, so that they don't do the mischiefs. Similarly, in all these yaga yajnas they had, all these yajnas, they will end up with a huge gift ceremony, where you have to gift liberally. So much liberally that you should become a pauper almost. Kalidasa is describing one Raghuvamsha, means Rama's ancestors, one Raghuvamsha king, that after the Yajna, he has given off so much that the king did not have any gold in the palace. So a saint has come. After the Yajna, a saint has arrived in the palace, and the king is welcoming the saint with water in a mud pot. A king, an emperor, inviting a saint, welcoming a saint with water in a mud pot, which is normally unimaginable. Mud pot and with a cotton cloth on his own body, because everything from the palace has been gifted off. In fact, it was a beautiful economic system in our country also, that whenever the king's coffer would get full, the minister would come and suggest to the king, the Maharaj, the coffer has become full, you should perform a Yajna, say Ashwamedha Yajna or some huge Yajna, which will need about 1 year of preparation. In Mahabharata we find Ashwamedha Yajna that Yudhishthira did, it was 1 year of preparation, huge preparation. Various things will be done in that. And all the prajas, all the people in the country will be occupied. Artisans will come, pandal makers will come, cooks will come, all of them will be engaged in the whole process. So what will happen? The king's coffer will get distributed amongst the people. The money will flow into the society. So no money will be hoarded. The whole money will get distributed, and not just like that, but people are working and they are earning. So that was a very economic balance that was working in our country. And after that, whatever is remaining in the palace, that used to be gifted to the people who were not salaried, like that the pandits, the brahmanas who used to teach in the Pathashala, Gurukula and all. They were generally poor. So king had the duty to gift maximum to these people, then to the priest, then to some other people, poor people, etc., those who cannot work. The whole gifting ceremony would be there. Liberal gifting. So any yajna, although they were doing, as I said yesterday, because of the carrot in front, that is out of some desire for some, either in this life or in the other life, either to go to the heaven or in this world itself to have some children or property or huge empire. It is all selfish aim. They are starting the yajna because they are greedy. They are given to selfish thinking. But when they perform the yajna, as I read out the shlokas, the threats are there. If you don't do it properly, then your result will be reverse. You will be taken to the hell instead of the heaven. So while performing the yajna, they have to gift liberally. Now, if a miserly person has to gift liberally, what will happen to his mind? Mind has to expand for that. And when he gifts liberally, he will find the joy in gifting also. That there is no point in hoarding the material, but when you give away all the material, you feel liberated. You feel so much of expansion in your mind. So there is a chance of becoming good through that also. That is why it is said that the money becomes purified by gifting. You will find Swamiji distributes the letter for the Dana Satra. There, this sentence will always be there. By Dana, our money, our wealth gets purified. Why? Because otherwise this wealth accumulated, hoarded, will spoil the next generation. It will be sinful. Swamiji knows about a person who was having very rich businessman, having crores. Brother's family was very poor. Brother's children were poor. Now this man would not give anything to the brother's children. All the money was kept for his own children. And Swamiji had cautioned him also that this is not the right way. You should be liberal. They are your own brother's children, you should divide and you should give them also. They should be happy at least, they should not suffer from poverty. But as I said, the subtle psychological, these things will not work. When the mind is greedy, unless you give the threat of hell or so, it doesn't strike them. So he did not listen. Now what happened is that even before his death, when he was sick and people were expecting him to die, I mean, not expecting, but they are thinking that any time he may pass away. Then there was already a quarrel amongst his own children. Who has deprived whose property, who has taken away father's property more, he has not divided. Complete fragmentation in the family before the man passed away. Then itself the family got completely shattered. This is how the wealth gets spoiled, and it spoils the next generations, the further generations. That is why the wealth has to be distributed to purify the wealth, so that it has the auspicious effect on the society, on our own family, on our children, as well as the others. These are psychological laws. These are causality. If you be selfish, if you hoard, then the effect will be to spoil your next generation. They will fight with each other, unless you are liberal in that. You will find that very rich businessmen who are very liberal, they will have the wealth for many, many generations. But in the other cases, they will lose the wealth in one generation itself. Those who are not that liberal. So these are the psychological laws which are subtle, which people do not understand. So for their auspicious ends, that although they will not understand, they should not meet any inauspicious end. That is why these things are devised in the manner, so that they do the right things and the right results come out of it. So if you really go into the Shastras, in the scriptures, you will find they are all based on very subtle causal relationships, the causality, rationality, which are not apparent in the gross physical level. That is why they have said like that. Go ahead with that. Kali Karalicha, that we have done, the 7 flames. Now he is saying, that is why I have explained this causality. What are the causal consequences of this yaga, performing the Agnihotra properly, according to the Vedic injunctions? As I said in the 6th, that should be with the new moon performances, full moon performances. Then the 4 months after the Guru Purnima, the whatever performances are reading the Shastras, those are there. Then the first harvest to be offered to the nature, to the gods. Then the guests have to be honored. Then the proper offering should be given. Then Vaishvadeva means the birds and animals to be fed. These are all we have studied yesterday in great detail. The birds and animals to be fed. All these things are doing the Agnihotra properly. So it is not enough you offer the Yajna in the Homakunda and finish it off. All these ancillary things will have to be performed along with the Agnihotra. Then only the promised result will be had, is the injunction of the Shastras. Now if one does it properly, does the Ahuti properly in the flame, in the proper place, giving full attention to all these things, what will happen? To do anything attentively, our mind has to become desireless. That is what we said, that in the ashram or in here also, in serving, in doing our any work, what we are finding is that everywhere there is lack of attention, lack of attention, lack of attention. Lack of common sense, these are very common in us everywhere. So much so that Pondicherry mother, our Sri Aurobindo mother, she used to say that everybody when they join the ashram, they say that I have surrendered everything to you. Mother, I have surrendered everything to you. But what in reality what happens is that they surrender only the common sense, nothing else. While coming to the ashram, they surrender only the common sense, nothing else. Like that, the attention is the only sadhana in the ashram. Why the attention is not there in what we are doing? While reading, going through the proof, while publishing the book, while serving the people, while looking into the guests, we will walk along the veranda going for food, not noticing that 5 new guests are waiting there and they have to be called and taken to the Annakshetra. They don't know. Our devotees would simply walk to the Annakshetra when the bell has rung. They will not generally, they have to be pushed, because that attention is also not there. The Annakshetra people will have to wait after the bell if you don't go. So we have to generally push. But while going, they forget that some new people are waiting there who have to be taken to the Annakshetra. That much of attention also is not there generally. Now this attention is not there because our mind is taken away by something. The mind is always thinking of, oh, he told me this, or Swamiji scolded me for that, I am not responsible. Something or other will be working in the mind. It is not in the present. It is either loitering in the past or imagining something for the future. So desires are the fundamental culprit. The whole spiritual sadhana is to get rid of these desires, nothing else. That is why after these so many theories about soul, Brahman and all that. You will find the end of the scripture is only speaks about desirelessness. Vidyate hridaya granthi. Or yada sarve pramuchyante kamayasya hridishritaha. Like this will be there. At the end it is all about desirelessness, desirelessness, desirelessness. Because the attention we are missing, because the mind has been taken away by something else. This is the reason. So he says that those who perform these yagas attentively, to do it attentively, what will happen? They will forget the initial desire also for which they have started performing. People don't know. They don't get joy out of doing the nominal things, menial things also. Any work we will get the equal bliss if we do it desirelessly and full attentively. If we do it to our best perfection, that perfection will give us joy. The attention will give us joy because the mind will be free of all desires during that time. That is the secret of work. Whether it is cooking, whether it is sweeping the garden, whether it is leveling the garden. The quality of the work, when we do it properly, we get the greatest joy of it. For the joy, we don't have to wait for the result. But people don't understand that. So if they really perform the yaga also, when they are performing, if they do it properly with following all the injunctions attentively, what will happen? They will get tremendous joy, although it is just doing the homa. So that is what they are saying. If you have done properly, then what happens? Is the 5th verse. Eteshu yascharate bhrajamaneshu yatha kalam chahutayo hyadadayan eteshu yascharate bhrajamaneshu yatha kalam chahutayo yadadayan tam nayantyetaha suryasya rashmayo yatra devanam patireko dhivasaha. He is saying that bhajamaneshu eteshu, that 7 flames they discussed in the previous verse, this well-lit flames, shining flames, bhajamaneshu means this bright, shining flames. That means you have to light the fire very well. It should not smoke, it should not smolder also. So in this well-lit flame, yatha kalam cha ahutayaha adadayan. When the ahuti, the offerings are given in the right time, in the right manner, in the right flame, properly, then what happens? Tam nayantyetaha suryasya rashmayaha yatra devanam patireko dhivasaha. What happens is that like the sun's rays, these offerings, they take him to the one Lord of all the Lords, of all the gods. Patihi, Devanam Patihi, Ekaha Patihi Adivasaha. Where the one Lord of all the gods resides. What does it mean? Gods are many. They are representing different natural powers. As I said, in Vedic era, the gods were representing all kinds of natural powers. But the Lord of all the gods, He is only one. What is that one? We have been discussing what is that one? That consciousness, that Atma or Brahman, that is the Lord of everybody. He says, Yatra Devanam Ekaha Patihi Adivasaha. Where resides the one Lord of all the gods, they take him there. That is where. By doing it properly also they are going to the final, the same Lord. But they have a feeling that it is somewhere else. They don't have that knowledge. But what happens? The mind gets focused to that oneness. That is what I said, that everything, the purpose is to make the mind one-pointed. When we are doing attentively, following all the injunctions, the mind becomes one-pointed. They said, like the sun's rays, the offerings take. Why? Suppose it is the subtle way. The sun is somewhere far away. Now, the heat of the sun, is it not reaching us through the rays? Although ray is a conceptual thing. As I said, the light can never be seen. The sun is here and the earth is here. In between you cannot see the light. The light, when it is scattered by the matter, then only the matter can be seen. But the fact is that, our model is that the light, that means the light is a very subtle thing. We don't see the light. But the light is carrying the heat from the sun to the earth, to us. Like that, these offerings they make, just like the subtle rays of the sun, these offerings are taking him to the ultimate level finally, in the step-by-step manner, but taking him to that one Lord of all the gods. Are you able to follow? So, the subtle method they are referring to by saying like the sun rays they are taking. Sun rays are bringing the heat from the sun, far away sun, to this earth. Like that our offerings also reaching that. When we are doing it properly, attentively, following all the injunctions. That means the mind which is offering, that mind gets linked to the consciousness at that point. Although they don't know, they don't have the concept of it. They think that the God is somewhere else and we are doing. But the mind becomes one-pointed. Then what happens? Ehyehi tamahutaya suvarchasaha. Will you be able to? It's a little difficult. Ehyehiti. It means ehiti. Ehi in Sanskrit means आइए, the welcome. बैठिए हम बोलते हैं नाशुन बोशुन. Welcome, एही इति. एह्येहीति तमाहुतयः सुवर्चसः. That the ahuti they have given, they become suvarchasaha. Suvarchasaha means they acquire a brilliance in them. When we do the ahuti with this kind of a mindset, one-pointed mind, then whatever offering, oblations we are performed in the fire, they become brilliant. How? By our mind. By the one-pointedness of the mind, they become brilliant. What happens to them? Suryasya rashmibhir Yajamanam bahanti Priyam vacham Abhivadantyaha Archayantaha. See, here it is joined, so because I am splitting it, I am reading separately. Priyam vacham Abhivadantyaha Archayantyah Eshavah Punyaha Sukrito Brahmalokaha. Say that these offerings, oblations he has performed, they take this Yajamana, carry him by the sun's rays, as if they carry him by the sun's rays. And when they say that, come, Priyam Vacham Vadanti, they all speak very good about him. Abhivadanti Archayantyaha, they appreciate that it is all Eshavah Punyaha Sukrito Brahmalokaha. This is the Brahmalokaha you have earned by the good deeds you have performed. Now these oblations has already reached the Brahmaloka, and when you die, they are calling you from here that you come, आइए आप बहुत कुछ अच्छे किए हैं, इधर आ जाइए, ये आपका सुकृत लोक है, यहाँ आ जाइए. Is it not happening in our real life also? When you work very well in a factory, there will be 100 factories to take you from there. The moment even if you don't apply, आइए हमारे यहाँ चले, our sukrita in a subtle manner, it goes everywhere. We don't know. We start cheating people to make our profit high now, but that is not the really long-term profit we can make. When we really do something well with proper devotion, proper dedication, then we ensure a much long-term benefit everywhere. And we are taken there accordingly. So he says that if you do properly, they are all waiting. Even when you, in this life they are waiting, and when you drop your body also they are waiting in the Brahma Loka, in the best of the Loka, to invite you there. They will call you, they will tell that you have done very good, they will praise you, and they are waiting there to welcome you. You will be taken by the sun's rays, through the lit path to there. It is true. Although heavens may exist, may not exist, we don't know. But it exists in our mind. And when before death also, those who have these concepts in mind, they already in the last few moments they cover many swargas. If we could know their mind, we will know. In Guruvayur, one famous devotee was there, Vishnu Bhakta. So when he was about to pass away one day, he said that my chariot has come from Vaikuntha. I will go. The chariot has come, Vishnu's chariot has come from Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means where Vishnu stays. Why it is called Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha has come from Vikuntha. Kuntha means constriction. Vikuntha means opposite of constriction, means expansion. So with a constricted mind you cannot reach Vaikuntha.